Nilda, welcome.
Thank
You
you.
are
Thank you.
a bag of energy. That's not even the right terminology,
I know.
but you are just full of energy.
Underestimation.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. Do you mind telling people?
Yeah, no, well, I'm 70 years old.
She is 70, and this woman has energy for years. Okay,
More than the Energizer bunny.
Bunny. Yes.
So we appreciate you and thank you so much for joining this Access Return conversation.
And
Thank you.
I am Dr. Yvonne Larrier, founding president of GCSCORED.
And Dr. Geneva Fleming, Vice President for GCSCORED. And so we welcome you here today.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Your name,
Yeah.
where you're from.
Well, I'm Nilda Rivera Arroyo, and I was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Moved to the United States when I was 19 years old. And I enjoy working with people and loving people. And one of the reasons that I came to your seminar, it was because the subject and the wonderful work really that you're doing regarding children and their families and their communities. And I'm very interested in helping the youth.
Yeah.
I have 9 grandchildren.
Yeah.
And I have gotten to know all the problems and misunderstanding among generations. And I think they are wonderful. They are millennials.
Yeah.
And I think that the work you're doing is just really incredible.
So to what
Something I would
degree?
like to do.
Oh, okay. So to what degree were your goals met? You shared why you came here because you want to work with youth. So did you find anything useful?
Oh, definitely, because I'm on the way to start my thesis for my PhD, and I've been researching articles and books of what has been done. And actually, I had found a lot of interesting information regarding alternate systems of how the things have been done, but I never really heard about yours. And you have it so organized, and you have created such incredible, insightful phrases, and even the name.
Okay.
Robert Time. I think it's amazing, and it's something people will not forget,
Right.
and something that people then will remember to be able to work with through their lives and by helping other people. So I think it's amazing. I'm really excited and happy that I've met you both, and that I got to know about your program.
Yeah.
And I would definitely like to be associated with it because this is what I want to do for the next 10 years of my life.
So you see, it appears that it's usable. In as much as we know that there's a shortage of mental health professionals. Someone in the room in our workshop this week talked about an average caseload of 1,000 students. We know that having that many individuals on a caseload cannot possibly be effective. So how usable do you see utilizing some of the tools and the strategies that was learned this week, working with
Well, I think that you're right on the money when it comes to your system, because you are teaching people how to do it differently and how to deal with children with a different system, which is the social emotional learning. And even some conflict mediation techniques, even though you don't call it that way, but it is really the way to go. And what I have seen for years, I was a professor and I love schooling, and what I have seen throughout the years is that the system do not work. So it needs people like you to voice it. Sometimes people are afraid to say, wow, this is too much to bear, and I cannot fight against what the institution has done for years. And the truth is that we can.
Yes.
We can.
and we need to.
We need to.
Yeah.
And you said it yourself. You said the change starts here.
Yes.
It is with the
Absolutely.
people, it is with the parents, it is with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that changing, we need to do that change.
Yeah, I believe we owe it to we owe it to society. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children.
Definitely.
They need it, and so we cannot continue to focus on behavioral issues because that seems to be the all-time high. And so we have to look at what's contributing to those behaviors. And so the analogy of roots and fruits is
Definitely. And the seeds, I think your approach with the seeds and the trees, I mean, it's just amazing because it is what it is. And I think that changing what they are doing is not so difficult. It's that people resist, as psychologists, we know people resist change. People feel unsecure and like you are trying to take away what they know what to do rather than open up and embrace it, understanding what we're doing doesn't work. Which you said so many times, and I just loved it because what we're doing doesn't work. So it has to come a time that we stop using systems that we've been using for 60-something years, like the
just because we've done it that way, and just because nobody wants to disrupt. Right, and that's what I say. You have to decide that you're going to be a disruptor.
That's right. Yeah.
And disrupting looks different in different spaces, and at different developmental, career developmental stages or relationship developmental stages.
Absolutely.
But it has to be disrupted because we cannot sit back and see 1 in 5 children, 1 in 5 adults experiencing anxiety and depression, and we cannot see 12% of, I think it's 12% of people with ACEs scores experiencing challenges. We cannot continue to use the same approach and expect different results. That is what we call that's the definition of insanity.
And what's that? That's what Einstein called stupidity.
There you go. There you go.
He said, what is the definition of stupidity? He said it, Einstein said it, was to keep doing the same things and expect different results.
Exactly.
So it is what it is. And we
It
have
is
to
what it
call
is.
it,
Call it
we
by
have to
what
call
it
it by
is.
what it is.
Exactly. So
And draw the line on it and say enough is enough
Yes.
already.
And be willing to do the work that it requires, because it is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And can you speak to that? Can you speak to the type of emotional expenditure, the emotional currency that you expended during the last 3 days in the workshop? Can you speak to that?
Yes, it's interesting that regardless of the fact that I've been pretty forward, trying to understand my life, myself, my relationships, and being able to be successful in life, doing many different things, regardless of the fact that I was Puerto Rican and I have an accent, and I couldn't speak English too well when I came to the United States. And all the different aspects in our life that are kind of traumatic. You know, we've been able to overcome that. And we've been able, but still, as you saw in the room yesterday, there's things that are deep on you.
Yes.
That unless you take them out, like you said, you have to be able to
reveal in order to heal. Yeah.
And there's things that, regardless of all the successes and all the things that we accomplish, it's still depression down there. You know, it is things that we really didn't work with, or we tried to, but we feel that it was things we did that you cannot get undone. And being able to understand that and accept the fact, like you said, you know, it's no regrets. You do the best you can.
You do.
And then we keep on going. So that part about we getting to know ourselves, which remind me a little bit of the Freudian beliefs that you got to go through psychoanalysis, which is crazy, for 8 years before you were able to help someone. So it has a lot of flaws, but the principle of you having to work within yourself and understanding your emotions, your philosophy, your mindset. Now in my PhD, one of the things very important to understand is our philosophy, because all the work we do, all the research we do, is going to be like ruled by what we believe in.
Absolutely.
What we believe in.
Your belief informs and influences your behavior.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And until you know,
foundational.
exactly, and until you know what it is you believe, you are going to continue to operate in a state of unconsciousness.
Yes.
And things are going to happen to you, and you're going to say, well, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why this happened.
So you have to be able to relate.
You have to
back,
go
'cause
down to the roots.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Do you remember what you shared about your philosophy? What is your philosophical statement? You probably have many. But the one you shared in the group.
Yes, I said, my philosophy is that when we care about people, caring about people, and then being proactive in helping them and understand where they come from and what they need. And then make a plan and go out and do it.
Absolutely.
A lot of people understand and a lot of people care or love, but what are you doing?
What are you doing with
What
it?
are you doing?
Absolutely.
We have to do. And that is something that you're doing remarkably.
Absolutely.
The system you created and the names again. I said they put a lot of time on this.
Yes.
And it's amazing and it's organized. I think that, a lot can be done with it.
Okay.
So I'll be looking forward to work with it and with you.
Good.
And also to assist you in any ways that I can.
We are going to take you on that.
I think it's
Absolutely.
wonderful. So, okay.
It's been such a pleasure to get to know you this week.
Yes.
Any parting words that you'd like to share as we wrap up?
Well, just what we said, I think that we have to do. It's a lot to be done. We cannot be afraid of change. We have to understand when things do not work.
That's right.
And we have to embrace new ideas, like we embrace diversity, and
That's
like
right.
we embrace multicultural differences. We have to embrace new changes in the things that are important in life. And to me, students and children, they are the world. They are the ones that are shaping the world, that
That's
are
right.
coming after us. Right now, for example, 80 million millennials, they are going to control elections, the work sites, the new enterprises.
All the pillars, government,
So,
education system, all those systems.
and still they have problems interrelating.
Absolutely.
They have problems with values that they never learn. What do we do about that?
Right.
We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility.
You are
To sow the right seeds and to help create the environment or the soil that they can thrive in and be their optimal selves.
Yes, definitely.
But I want to ask you something that's specific. What do you think about this framework being used among the Latin population, the Spanish,
Oh, definitely.
How do you think it would?
We will need to do some variations just because we come from extended families where still the father and the mother are the most important thing in their lives, and it's very strong differences between you come from an island, so I'm sure you understand that.
Yes.
Versus the way that people in the United States are raised. Like, I never understood when I came to the United States how come a child leave for school, and then they never come back home. And they get married and they go live in Minnesota, and the parents are living in Florida, and they see each other once a year. Those are things that are difficult for us to understand because we come from a different background. But very important what you're covering in your summer camp, I think that was one of the most important things that I learned this week. It's to be able to organize what you have organized for a summer camp and being able to assist the parents and the families with their children in being able to communicate better, to understand each other better, to see how we go from here instead of children being then left in the air like we saw many of the participants because they
Yeah.
don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Or parents throwing their hands up
Yeah,
saying,
that they
I don't know what to do.
yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like even the teachers, I just got that experience with the
Yeah.
teachers. I interviewed teachers in a qualitative research, and that's what I found. They were extremely frustrated about the problems we have with disruptive behavior in the classroom,
Right.
and they are using the rewards and sanctions system, which doesn't work for 60 years, and they keep using it. So you see the things they do totally extrinsic motivation. There is no whatsoever intrinsic motivation. So you cannot, and if you do, and you have changes with extrinsic, what are very short-lived, right?
Yes,
So you have changes
yes.
that last what? While my money that she gave me lasts, or while the candies that they gave me, or you know, I cannot have any more stars than the ones I have in the child.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Yeah. So you think with some modification, this program would work with the Spanish-speaking cultures?
yeah, definitely, because it fits in the millennials work. And the problem with millennials in terms of communicating and interpersonal relationships and the social media, which creates a lot of the problems that they're facing as individuals. I think that when in the ages of 11 and 12 and 10 that all these things start, the program will fit in very, very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, thank
definitely
you.
take it under wraps.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
pleasure.
meeting you.
Yes.